What's up, guys? The Lazy Goldmaker here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Season of Discovery Phase 4, which is upcoming. I haven't done much Season of Discovery content lately, mostly because I've been playing Kara. But yeah, it's about a week out, so let's talk about it. So for the high-level stuff, we are getting some changes to professions. You can now swap your specializations if you're a blacksmith or leatherworker. Well, that will be coming not at launch, but eventually. And then they mentioned dozens of upgraded endgame crafting recipes, as well as a few new ones. And we can see here that they've shown off some of the new ones. Epic Crafts, Speed 4, Epic Axe. Yeah, this one's going to be extremely good. And Hammer of the Titans. This one is for ferals. I mean, chance on hit stun is going to be incredible for PvE. Blacksmithing and leatherworking, as far as their specializations go, I mean, they don't matter as much. You're crafting gear, or at least they didn't matter that much in actual Classic as far as profit potential, because there just wasn't that much value. It's like blacksmithing. I don't think I have specializations, but it's like you get to craft some armor or some weapons maybe for yourself, which don't really matter that much. Generally speaking, none of those recipes are super relevant from a gold making perspective. Now that might change in Phase 4 of Season of Discovery, because we did get some other changes to professions. And that's what they hinted at in the little thing I showed you, and that's new and updated profession recipes. This is a list of the data mine stuff. There's a ton of patterns, including various ones that are specific to a specialization. Some of these look pretty good. Some of these look kind of meh. A lot of them are very clearly like placeholders. Like, what's the point in adding something with just stamina, int, and spirit to the game? No one would wear these. So we can assume that a lot of these are placeholders. But there's an absolute ton of recipes, including new recipes for Master Hammersmith, for Master Swordsmith, Master Armor Smithing, etc. There's just a lot of recipes, and these will change the balance a little bit, because these are something that you can make some nice amount of money with potentially, if any of these turn out to be good and sought after. Now, if you're just looking at the material list, we can see that a lot of these recipes are very expensive. Let's say the hammer for druids requires 15 Arcanite bars. That's quite the cost, as well as a bunch of thorium, enchanted leather, and some other materials. So these are going to be a little bit on the expensive side. Maybe something that people don't buy on the auction house but prefer to get crafted. But still something that you can hopefully make some gold with. But yeah, there's just a lot of recipes. It'll be interesting to see what they do with eventually the final version of these in terms of stats. I expect that tailoring gear is at least completely wrong in terms of stats, because this literally no one would ever buy. Then you have this Devil Core gear, which is essentially the old Devil Sword renamed. Maybe it's been buffed. I don't remember the actual old stats. But this set is obviously extremely good, these items. So yeah, I think a lot of these recipes will have an effect, but maybe one of the biggest effects they'll have is when you look at the material costs. Obviously they use like the expected materials, like thorium bars for blacksmithing stuff, rugged leather, and some dragon scale stuff for the leather and mail. And I mean rune cloth obviously for the cloth, so just like standard max level materials. Then there are some that aren't used as much that are relevant. Obviously moon cloth, cooldown cloth. This one is used for a lot of recipes and everyone knows it's valuable. I also mentioned earlier Arcanite bars figure very heavily in a lot of the blacksmithing pieces. And Arcanite bar is obviously limited by the cooldowns you can do. You can only get it from doing the daily cooldown, or the 48-hour cooldown, if I remember correctly. Then you have stuff like the enchanted leather, enchanted thorium bars, that typically haven't been like super sought after materials. They're not used for that much good and that many super relevant crafts in the actual game. but they are used in a lot of these new recipes. So I think they could be very interesting to sell. Obviously, investing in some of these materials could be worth it, but we're now pretty close to phase 4, so I'm expecting prices have gone up. They still might have room to increase on some of these materials, particularly ones that are hard or annoying to farm. The other play you could definitely do is if you have professionals, if you've already built a farm of professionals, then Arcanite cooldowns are going to be very, very in demand. We're also obviously entering the phase where people can craft Thunder Fury. I mean, that's 100 Arcanite bars. Arcanite cooldown is going to be sought after for sure, at least a lot more than it has been, and that's quite nice. The same goes for the Mooncloth, used in a lot of these tailoring recipes, assuming that these tailoring recipes end up being actually useful, which I'm just going to guess that they're not going to add a bunch of completely worthless crafts. That's generally something they've been good at avoiding so far. Now for consumables, if you're looking to make gold on the auction house, we're going to be rocking the same thing for the most part. So like melee classes, like what I'm on my warrior here, we're going to be using Elixir of Giants. We're going to use Elixir of the Mongoose. Going to use Dragon Breath Chilies. We're going to use Winter Squid, Grilled Squid if you already have it. We will eventually get there's some strength food available at max level that you can get for warriors. So they are going to be at least taking some of the fun. And then casters get access to flasks now, the Flask of Supreme Power, because we can now go and actually craft the flasks. So that's kind of nice. For them, that's going to be something you can maybe take advantage of. There's also one other thing in Everlook or Frost. What's the Winter Spring? If you do the quest line, that eventually leads to farming Echo. You get the Cache of the Mawari, or whatever it's called. I don't remember the exact name. I had great success with flipping the Echo thing, because you get the specific buff from turning them in, and you can buy them and then resell them in stacks of 3, which is the exact amount you need to turn in. That was a very, very good flipping market back in Classic. But I'd look into that as well. I do have already settings for that, and I wrote about it back in the day. That should still be relevant. So that's sort of it. Phase 4, nothing massive, except for the new recipes and sort of the new influx of max level demand as we're all back to raiding. So yeah, good luck.